This video is sponsored by Skillshare. So if you're recently in the market right now looking for a small compact drone, you might have come across this one right here, which is the latest one from DJI. This one is the DJI Mini SE. And if you're new to drones and you just want to kind of see how it is, get your foot in the door with drones, and you want to have a really reliable system, you're going to want to look at one of these two right here. This is the new DJI Mini SE, and this is the DJI Mini 2. And in one of my recent videos, I did a comparison on the Mini SE and the Mini 2. So if you guys are looking at getting into the space and you want the smallest, most reliable, and most affordable drone, make sure you guys check out this video above as well as down below in the video description. And because the DJI Mini SE is actually the newer of the bunch, I do want to do this video right here, which just kind of gives you a little comparison if you're looking at jumping into the SE, but thinking about going up to the next level of drones, like I mentioned, and what are those factors that make up that price difference. This thing right here, the SE, is starting at $299. You have the Air 2, which starts at $799, and then you have the latest one, the DJI Air 2S, at $999. And before we jump into the comparisons, a quick word from our sponsor, Skillshare. And for those not familiar with Skillshare, Skillshare is an online learning community that's really focused around the creative arts. So if you're looking at getting into videography, photography, illustration, design, and more, Skillshare has thousands of classes to choose from. Before leaving on my most recent camping trip, we went to Lake Cuyamaca, and I knew we would be out there at the lake at night. And even though I do a lot of long exposure photography with drones, I did want to do a little refresher because I was taking my Sony out there. So before heading out, I actually did take a class from Phil Ebner, who teaches long exposure photography and has a class on Skillshare. Now, even though I know most of the basics of long exposure photography and the settings, it's always nice to get a refresher. And every time you watch one of these classes or videos, there's definitely one or two things you can always pick up on. So if you're looking at leveling up one of your current creative skills, or you want to add in new skills to your tool set, make sure you guys check out Skillshare. The links will be down below in the video description. And huge thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. The first 1,000 people to use that link down below in the video description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. And now back to the video. But this video is more around people that were looking at getting in, but not necessarily at the base level, not at the SE or the Mini 2 level, but want to get something that has active track or the ability to follow you. This is where you're going to jump into these drones right here, which is the Air 2 as well as the Air 2S. Now, first and foremost, biggest difference, of course, if you needed to stay under that 250 gram mark because of where you live, you don't have to register drones in most places. If they're under 250 grams, that's where the SE does have that advantage over these drones right here. So if you are concerned about having to register your drone, you're going to want to go with the SE because of the fact it's under 250, the SE as well as the Mini and the Mini 2. So that's the biggest difference there as far as an advantage goes towards the SE. The MAVIC Air 2 as well as the 2S, this one is 570 grams, this one is 595 grams. So if you are looking at just getting a drone and not having to worry about registering it in your area, if that is a regulation, then the SE is the route to go. And before I even jump into which one I recommend from these two right here, I'm just gonna get it out of the way. The Air 2S is the way you're gonna wanna go right off the bat if you're looking at jumping into this level right here. Now I'm recording this in August 2021. So at this point, the Air 2 has been out for a lot longer than the new Air 2S. And I would say the main reason why you would even wanna get the Air 2 at this point is because of the price difference, $799 versus $999. And if you just wanted the most affordable route to get you follow me, active track, and those intelligent flight modes, then you would go with the Air 2. However, for those extra $200, I think the advantages of the new Air 2S are definitely worth that upgrade. Now, while weight might be an advantage to have as far as registration goes, a lot of times if you are flying in very windy or gusty areas, you're gonna wanna move up anyways into a heavier platform. Stability-wise in the air, having a heavier platform is just a lot better. It takes on a lot more wind and it's just a lot more stable than this smaller, lighter drone. So if you are flying in a place that you already know has a lot of wind, higher winds, gusts, you might not wanna go with the SE or the Mini because of the fact that you want a heavier drone that can withstand a lot more wind resistance. Move up into these right here, the Air 2 or the Air 2S. Next advantage of moving up in drones as far as specs goes is of course going to be the camera. The Mini SE has the smaller 1/2.3 inch sensor, the CMOS sensor. The Air 2 does have a 1/2 inch sensor, so it is a nice upgrade from the smaller drones. However, This right here has the 1-inch sensor. This is, I would probably say, competes with the Mavic 2 Pro, which has pretty much been the flagship DJI compact drone for the past 3 years. And that's another reason why you're gonna wanna more likely move up from this to this and skip this one, is because you're gonna wanna more likely future-proof yourself a little longer with that 1-inch sensor and the Air 2S. And with that larger camera, we also have a lot better specs. As far as video resolution goes, on the Mini SE, you're only able to shoot up to 2.7K at 30 frames a second. You are able to get 4K 60 on the Air 2, which is a nice upgrade as well. But like I mentioned here, the Air 2S, 5.4K at 30 frames a second, or also 4K 60 frames a second on the Air 2S. And one of the main reasons why people want to make the upgrade from the smaller drones up to these right here is the ability to have things like focus track, active track, spotlight, those intelligent flight modes where the drone can actually follow you. These drones right here have it. The Mini SE, the Mini 2, they do not have that follow me capabilities. So if you're looking at following a subject, following yourself, if you're a solo content creator, you're gonna wanna move up to these because these smaller ones do not have that capability. Next, we come down to sensors. Now, a lot of people always want to know how good is obstacle avoidance on these drones, letting you know the Mini SE does not have any sensors besides this bottom one right here, mainly to help you land and take off. Drones like the Air 2 and the Air 2S, they do have the front, back, and bottom sensors. However, the new Air 2S does have these upward sensors right here. So not only do they have the front, they have the bottom and the back, but they also have these front upward ones to help follow your subject while the drone is following at a little quicker of a speed. So another advantage of the Air 2S over the Air 2, and of course a big advantage over the SE. Now, if you're looking at purchasing a drone because you might want to do some commercial work, or you might want to video and shoot somebody that's moving at a quicker pace, you're gonna wanna also jump up to the bigger drones because of the stronger motors. They are able to track your subject at a faster pace. So if you did go with the more economical way, you might not be able to, even in sport mode, catch up to that boat that's in the water or that bicyclist. So you're gonna wanna move up, especially if you know that you're gonna be shooting something that moves at a faster rate. Get something like this, the Air 2S. And finally, the main reason why you're gonna wanna move up to these drones right here instead of the SE or the Mini is because of the OcuSync technology. Now, basically save the best for last, because if you guys know me, I always talk about video transmission as being the most important thing you're gonna want to have when flying a drone. And that's where the DJI Air 2S takes the cake over these guys right here. The Mini SE works off of an enhanced Wi-Fi system that can get you a good 4 kilometers if you have really good line of sight with your drone and your remote control. Now, while enhanced Wi-Fi is good in closer range and closer proximity, you're gonna wanna move up to the OcuSync technology that DJI offers, and that is in the Air 2 as well as the Air 2S. With OcuSync, you are able to get 10 kilometers distance video transmission with the Air 2, but the Air 2S gets even more, 12-kilometer range between your remote control and your drone. When I was flying these drones at the lake recently, I was trying to see if I can fly some routes where I would get some interference, and I was flying at a place where I had a lot of high trees, and even at a decent distance away, I was getting some breakup with the SE because of my surroundings, and I knew I would, and that's the reason why I wanted to also test it against the Air 2S. So with the SE, I was getting some breakup. There was actually some disconnect with my remote control with the app, and then flying similar routes with the Air 2S did not have a single dropout. Reception was good all the way through when I was flying around the lake. So big difference there when you're flying. If you want to have the most reliable system, you're going to want to move up to one of these drones right here with the OcuSync technology. Now, of course, there's a ton of features on the Air 2S, which I didn't go through in this video. I just really wanted to highlight some of those main differences for those pilots that are looking at getting into the space and thinking, maybe I'll just go on the lower end type of drone. Is it really worth my money, worth my time, worth my effort to move up? I definitely think that if you are going to move up, skip the Air 2, go straight to the Air 2S. The 1-inch sensor is gonna be a big difference for the long haul for the next few years or so. And if you guys want a lot more in-depth videos about all the features on the Air 2S, I'll leave all the links to those videos down below in the video description. And a huge shout out to our sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Make sure you guys check out those links down below. You get a free trial membership with Skillshare by using those links. So if you guys do want to level up your drone photography, your aerial photography, long exposure, your land photography, landscape, take advantage of those links, use those links down below, and you will get a free trial membership of Skillshare. And that's all I have for today. Thanks again for watching. Of course, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos. This is Alger Anastasio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys next video. Take care.